Hello everyone, this is Arafon, and today we're going to be playing a bit of Chrono Trigger. Fairly recently, I watched a playthrough of someone who used some what I can consider unconventional tactics on a number of the bosses that it turns out are not immune to status effects that you would think they would be. And I realized when I was going through enemy data, I never got around to figuring out what the flags are for status immunities. So I've gone back and done that, and that's going to be updated on the website uh, hopefully within the next month. I need to finalize everything and get that together, but in any case, while I was doing that, I also found on the Chrono Compendium uh, raw dumps of enemy behavioral data, which was organized into something more readable in a fact on GameFAQs. In any case, I've gone through that and found that some enemies do some rather unexpected things that most players are never going to see. Among these is the lowly Rolypoly, a fairly early enemy found in Heckran's cave just after the party gains magic. And the deal with these is you're supposed to use magic on them because they're largely immune to physical attacks. Not completely immune, but their defense is so high you're not going to get much out of it. And hey, we just got magic. You hit them with magic, and they go down. Your magic's not that strong at this point, but even Robo, who has one of the lowest magic stats in the game and one of the weaker magic attacks in Laser Spin, can easily take them down at his starting level of 10. So, what's this interesting behavior they have? Well, as it turns out, they have counterattacks to any form of elemental damage. The problem is, as you can see, they only have 50 hit points. So to counterattack, they need to survive your attack, which means you need to use magic that does less than 50 damage. That's not easy. So what I wound up doing was starting the game from the beginning, trying my best to avoid as many battles as possible, run away from everything I could, not going to the extremes of minimizing experience that you might do in a true low-level game, like leaving only one character standing so that most of them don't get any experience. But still, Chrono's level 8, Lucas level 8, no, Lucas level 7, Marley's level 8. This is about as low as you can reasonably get without doing something ridiculous, like, again, killing off characters so they don't get experience at all. Now this is, as you can see, low enough to get Specchio's weakest form, which is rarely seen, because Chrono needs to be, I forget whether it was at level 10 or below level 10, but either way, normally you're going to be at least that by the time you get here. But is it enough to not kill off a Rolypoly? To start with, Marley has no chance of not taking them out. Her weakest magic attack is an outright spell. She has a fairly good magic stat. I'm pretty sure she will one-hit KO these at level 3. So level 8 more than enough to take them down without even trying. Chrono's in a bit of a better spot. He has a weaker magic attack than his first spell in the form of Slash. This has a fairly low multiplier and he has fairly low magic, but not low enough. And even Luca, who has the lowest magic or weakest magic attack in the game in Flame Toss, at level 7, it's just not quite weak enough. She'd need to be level 6. So I could go back, redo that, do the aggressively minimizing experience things so that people are not getting any at all because they're knocked out. But I decided it's easier to just do a little memory searching and adjust their HP so that one of them has 255. So, the counterattacks. If you hit one with a lightning attack, which includes Slash and Luminaire even though they're not really lightning, it throws lightning back at you. If you hit it with an ice attack, guess what happens? Yep, it's an ice attack. And if you try some fire, well, guess what? They can use fire, too. But there is one other thing they can do, which is perhaps not what you would expect. Because there is that fourth element, which at this point you only get in the form of Laser Spin and Antipode, both of which are normally much too strong for them to survive, but with 255 health, even throwing 2 spells at it at once isn't quite enough to take it out. But we don't really have a basic, level 1 Dark Spell. So instead of using a weak Dark Spell, it just absorbs magic. Which is kind of neat. It's not something you'd normally, if ever, see. Like I said, it's probably outright impossible to get here weak enough for them to survive a Dark attack, or even an Ice attack. But you could, I mean, it's possible, according to guides I've seen, to get Chrono through the game at level 1. So yes, you could have them weak enough, him weak enough, that they can survive Slash or even Thunder. But who's going to do that normally? Which leaves the question of why do these have such complicated counterattacks if you're literally never going to see them unless you're doing something completely ridiculous? And that, I don't have an answer to. This has been Arafellin, playing Chrono Trigger, and showing off one of the stranger set of counterattacks in the entire game.